This is Madeon on Mix Up exclusives Triple J.
I released two original tracks with full lyrics, which are Finale and The City. And in both cases, I just came up with a general concept for the lyrics, and I worked with great songwriters that also sang the track to flesh them out. So for The City, there was this. My initial chorus was really weird and abstract. And so use some of the same words and put in something that actually made sense and wrote new verses and made it great. With Finale, similarly, it started with just a lyric, brace yourself for the grand finale. And that was the starting point. And from that, they elaborated and wrote those great verses for that. So generally, I just have a general direction and produce instrumental according to that general topic and idea. And let the amazing songwriters I work with and singers, because I feel like quite often when you get a singer that didn't write the song, you can tell somehow, and some especially when they write top lines where the melody really fits their vocal range and their abilities, and you can see that it really matches and it feels really natural. So that's the way I like to work these days.
So I guess when you're working with a songwriter, a melody is much more important than a lyric that you can work
I
off.
suppose so, yes. I mean, I try to avoid cliche I'm in the club popping champagne bottles or something. That bores me a little. But apart from that, yes, I feel like melody is definitely the core of my music. So lyrics are more vague descriptions of emotions that people can relate to. And sometimes, I was listening back to Finale, and I got some mails from people understood it as a metaphor for the high school experience and living high school last summer. And so I was baffled because I didn't think of that, and I assume Nicolas Petrica, who wrote that verse, didn't either. But people make it, give it meaning that wasn't necessarily intended. And that's what is great about song lyrics, that they don't have to be specific or descriptive.
With the forthcoming album, which I presume is going to happen after all the touring slows down.
It's it's in progress. It's quite early still, so I don't want to feel like I'm promoting an album right now, because it's definitely early stages. But that's what I want to do next, essentially. Maybe a couple of singles in between, but the next massive project for me is an album. So I want to complete it this year, so it's probably going to be released either at the end of the year or maybe early 2014 or something. So, but that's definitely the next step. But it is difficult to write while touring, so it's a skill I'm trying to develop.
To multitask in that way.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're touring, ultimately you're only working really an hour a day on stage, but there's everything else that comes with it: traveling, setting up,
promo,
and resting perhaps an hour or two a day. So it actually makes for a fuller day than you would expect. But every time I can grab an hour or two, I'll sit down with my little keyboard and try to come up with ideas. And I just start demos, and then when I come home, flesh them out properly.
You're listening to Madeon on Mix Up exclusives Triple J.
Are there people that you see around you in this world that you kind of are influenced by, the way they perform, the way they write?
I feel, yeah. I mean, it's one of the things that I learned through touring is I really understood club music better, because I came into electronic music through a simple listening experience and never quite got into the context of a show. And touring made me realize that some music that I thought was pretty empty and vacuous was actually incredibly strong and clever and effective. So it gave me a new appreciation for certain types of electronic music, and that influenced my work a fair amount. Icarus came from the few. I did one or two shows before doing Icarus, but that's a song that I probably wouldn't have done if I had done no show before. So yeah, it definitely influenced in that way. And obviously, I try when I do festivals to watch all the bands and all the DJs, and I learn a lot from that and from their approach, and that exposes me to a lot of music, which you naturally, get inspired by. There's a lot of my DJ friends kind of split production and touring quite definitely. But other would really integrate the two and write music specifically for their touring. So it's kind of different approaches. I try to keep them independent enough, because I don't want to be stuck into 128 effective club music zone just because I want to be able to play it and get a reaction. So I try to keep them separate.
With that in mind, and kind of learning, what's been the most recent thing that you've picked up on or thought, hey, I think I could add that to my live show? Or
in terms of songs, in terms of technology?
Yeah, because you do a very impressive live set. And a lot of people do DJ, and a lot of people do use Ableton Live, but you really, watching you get animated and you make yourself busy. There was never a moment when you weren't working.
I try to develop a sort of really custom DJ setup with Ableton Live that incorporated some proper live element and some sort of elaborate DJing aspects. But the goal is not for it to be as difficult as possible. The goal is for it to be as simple as possible, but to have as much flexibility, so I can decide, you know what, I'm going to play the break of this track and the drop of this other track and the a cappella of a third track, and they're all going to be in the same key and at the same time, and I can just load them in 5 seconds without really thinking, and it's going to sound great. So it's really fantastic to be able to just have an idea and make it work pretty instantly. So I spent a lot of time for that, because Ableton is not a great DJ application, and it's not made for that. It's
even though it's called Ableton Live.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for like pre-recorded live shows where you have a set track list, but if you want to navigate through tracks and as a DJ would, there's no equivalent for looking through a box of vinyls and finding a track you like. So I had to do like a custom like program thing to add features that would enable me to work quickly in that way. And that's I haven't seen much people do similar setups, and I hope it catches on and that more people adopt this kind of approach, because it's really fun.
Well, I've seen one. I haven't seen two. Two kind of what are they called?
Launchpads.
That's it.
Yes.
Two.
Yeah, I use 2 of them, but I have 3 of them actually when I do the visuals. Australia, you're great. You're sunny in the winter, which is completely odd, but I like it. Please sort out the whole killing spider thing and the whole being at the other side of the world element, and I'll come over more often, but you can't.